A SAS operator's romantic trip is disrupted by a group of private army soldiers who hijack the train to seek revenge. However, their plan fails as the SAS operative exposes the criminals. Will he be able to save his girlfriend by going against the odds? The movie starts with a man named William Lewis, who runs a private military company called Black Swan. He's traveling to the Republic of Georgia with his daughter Grace, son Oliver and team. They arrive at Valley Pass for a mission, where they meet a special British SAS commander named George Clements. He has hired Black Swan to clear a remote village for a gas pipeline project owned by a company called Britgas. Clements tells Williams the villagers refuse to sell their land. William assures Clements they can clear the village today and asks Grace to lead the operation. Grace and the team enter the village, and a fierce battle begins between the villagers and Black Swans. After facing some resistance, Black Swan gains control. Grace orders the men and boys to be killed and the women left to spread fear. They show no mercy and carry out their ruthless operation until nightfall. However, a girl from the village secretly records their brutality. In the next scene, SAS agent Tom Buckingham is in the United Kingdom. He arrives at Buckingham Palace where his manager, Callum, welcomes him. After some talk, Tom goes into his grandmother's room to pick up her ring to propose to his girlfriend, Sophie. Later, Tom talks with Callum about his marriage plans, and Callum assures him that Sophie is a nice choice. The following day, the media reports that a red notice is issued against Black Swan by the International Criminal Court. They mention that Black Swan is linked to the alleged atrocities in the village of the Republic of Georgia. Moreover, it is reported that Black Swan is currently living in London. Eventually, the International Court demands that the UK government take action against the accused. Then the scene transitions to UK Prime Minister Atwood. Being distressed, he discusses the issue with Clements. It is revealed that Atwood is also involved in hiring Black Swan for the operation in the village. Moreover, Atwood tells Clement that if William gets arrested, he will mention their names. Therefore, to save himself, Atwood orders Clements to kill William and his team. In the afternoon, Tom meets Sophie at the hospital. He tells her they are going on a romantic trip to Paris. Moreover, Tom tells her that he has already asked her consultant to change her schedule. While they are talking, Tom gets a call, so he kisses Sophie and says he has to go to work. Meanwhile, Grace tells William about the news against them. She shows concern and tells William that the government will arrest them soon. Therefore, William asks Grace and the rest of the associates to flee to the United States while he stays in the house to face the consequences. In the afternoon, Clements plans an attack on William Hansberg's house in London. Tom enters the house in disguise, where he sees a woman. She works as a security officer for Black Swan. Tom tries to engage her in conversation and suddenly attacks her. Then he signals the rest of the team to enter the house. Meanwhile, William's men open fire at the SAS agents. After an intense shootout, Tom and the rest of the team enter the house. Fortunately, they clear up the area and reach the dining hall to arrest William. Meanwhile, Clements also arrives at the scene. He orders Tom and the other agents to find Grace. Then Clements sits in front of William at the dining table. During their conversation, Clements inquires about Grace. William mentions that he loves Grace as she is like him. Clements complains that she is responsible for this mess. Eventually, Clements kills William on the spot. Meanwhile, Tom and one of the agents named Declan go upstairs to capture Grace. There, they encounter a woman who looks like Grace, holding a bomb in her hand. Tom shoots the woman as she detonates the bomb. Luckily, Tom and Declan avoid the explosion by jumping out of the window. After the mission, the SAS team leader, Major Bissett, talks with Tom. He gets angry with Tom for shooting the girl. Declan mentions that the girl was holding a grenade, and they had no other option. Moreover, he mentions that the girl is not Grace. Furthermore, Declan proposes that someone has alerted Black Swan about their operation. Major Bissett assures him that he will sort out this matter. Moreover, Major Bissett asks Tom to stay out of duty for a while as a punishment. The next day, Tom and Sophie board a train called Eurostream from London to Paris. Consequently, Grace is also on the same train in disguise. While on the journey, Sophie spots Grace's face in the newspaper and asks Tom about her, but he doesn't reply. Instead, Tom uses the excuse of needing to go to the bathroom. On the other hand, Grace enters a bathroom to remove her wig and mask. A man knocks on the door, claiming to check passports, but Grace doesn't open the door. After some time, the man kicks the door and forces it open. Grace ends up stabbing the man and escapes the scene. Tom becomes suspicious and investigates the area. He discovers the injured man lying on the bathroom floor. He immediately calls Declan and informs him that Grace is on the train. Furthermore, he mentions that the train is approaching the Channel Tunnel. Declan shares this information with Major Bissett, who initially requests confirmation. However, later someone alerts Grace and informs her that Tom is also on the same train. It is revealed that someone among the SAS team is a traitor who secretly leaks information to the Black Swan. Meanwhile, Sophie strikes up a conversation with a friendly lady on the train. She talks about Tom, mentioning that even though he is different from her, she loves him. After a while, Grace and the Black Swan associates get ready to execute their plan. They enter the crew compartment and hijack the train. They stop the train after entering the Channel Tunnel and close all the entry and exit points. Moreover, they also cut out all CCTV and electricity on the train. Then, a fire department truck arrives, which turns out to carry other Black Swan members. Tom secretly keeps an eye on them and then suddenly opens fire at Black Swan. However, he is unable to fight alone and rushes inside a tunnel compartment. Oliver attaches a time bomb to the compartment, causing an explosion that injures many passengers. Luckily, Tom manages to escape and starts calling Sophie. Black Swan instructs all the passengers to lie down to find the SAS commander. Meanwhile, Tom skillfully escapes through a window and hides under the train. Later, Tom secretly captures some images and sends them to Declan as confirmation. Declan informs Major Bissett, who gets angry at Tom instead of taking action. Then he asks Declan to send him all the images. Later, Grace receives the images on her phone. Grace orders her members to check under the train and takes every passenger's phone. Sophie hides her phone and gives someone else's phone to Grace, who has already been shot. Eventually, the news of the Eurostream hijacking reaches the media. Meanwhile, Atwood orders Clements to eliminate Grace before she can reveal anything. Inside the train, Grace notices an injured young girl and asks her members to find a doctor on the train. Eventually, Sophie reveals that she is a doctor. Grace asks her to treat the child and instructs one of the members to provide the first aid kit. Sophie and the girl are taken to the toilet where Sophie treats her. The SAS team sets up a base on the other side of the sealed tunnel. Clements urges Major Bissett and his team to kill Grace at all costs. However, Major Bissett opposes him and suggests that they should prioritize rescuing the hostages instead. Clements angrily insists that Major Bissett do as he's asked. Meanwhile, Tom unscrews the toilet from beneath the train and attempts to rescue Sophie. However, Sophie refuses and tells him that she will stay to help the injured. She asks Tom to take the girl with him. Eventually, the girl goes out through the hole while Sophie pretends to be injured to avoid suspicion. The SAS team attacks the Black Swan from the rear side of the train and eliminates some of the Black Swan members. However, Oliver pushes the SAS back after an intense battle. They report to Clements that the Black Swans were already aware of their arrival. Meanwhile, Grace finds an unconscious Sophie and asks Oliver to find Tom and the girl. Thus, Oliver goes back to the tunnel to find Tom. There, Tom asks the girl to run towards the SAS base, and he runs to the opposite side, ditching Oliver. The girl safely reaches the base. Meanwhile, Grace initiates a video call with Clements and Major Bissett. She proposes that Clements should ask the Prime Minister to admit his involvement on live broadcast or send $500 million to her account. Clements mentions that it's a lot of money, and Grace tells him to ask Brickas as they hired them. Moreover, she offers Clements and Major Bissett to talk with them. Afterwards, Grace discovers that Sophie has hidden her real phone and is linked with Tom. Thus, Grace instructs one of her team members to locate Sophie's phone. Meanwhile, Tom realizes that the Black Swans are drilling the tunnel from the inside. After some time, Clements and Major Bissett meet Grace for negotiation. Abruptly, Grace shoots Major Bissett when he attempts to negotiate for the hostages. She also threatens Clements, stating that if they don't provide her with the money, she will blow up the tunnel. Clements assures her that they will arrange the money. Then Grace requests wire confirmation within the next 30 minutes. Meanwhile, one of Grace's associates records the conversation between Grace and Clements. On the other side, Tom discovers a Black Swan operator rigging explosives to the pipeline and kills him. Then he contacts Declan and informs him that Grace is planning to blow up the tunnel. Tom urges Declan to relay this information to Major Bissett's team, but Declan informs Tom that Major Bissett has died. Declan talks about details about the ransom. Tom mentions that even if Grace receives the money, she will still blow up the tunnel and escape. Afterwards, Declan calls Grace to inquire about the pipeline explosion plan. Grace mentions that he is just part of her operation. Eventually, it is revealed that Declan is the insider who secretly leaks information to the Black Swan. During their conversation, Declan tells Grace that Sophie is Tom's girlfriend. Then, Grace orders Declan to kill Tom, otherwise, she will tell Clements that he is a traitor. Moreover, Grace takes Sophie's phone and texts Tom to save her. Tom falls into the trap and goes inside the train to rescue Sophie. There, They confront each other and open fire. During the fight, an explosion occurs, allowing Grace to escape with Sophie. Then she initiates a video call with the SAS base. Declan informs Grace that Britkus has agreed to transfer the funds to her account, and a helicopter is ready for her escape. Grace instructs her associate to upload the video of her conversation with Clements on YouTube. Fortunately, Tom survives the explosion and rushes to save Sophie. Meanwhile, Grace and Sophie escape through a pipeline, and Oliver confronts Tom. Tom and Oliver engage in a relentless fight, but eventually, Tom kills Oliver and enters the pipeline to chase Grace. Consequently, all the passengers are released. Then SAS commanders locate and eliminate all Black Swan members in the crowd. Meanwhile, Clements orders Declan to kill Grace when she emerges. However, Clements discovers that Grace has escaped through an alternative passage and realizes that Declan is a traitor. Eventually, Grace gets out of the pipe along with Sophie. Meanwhile, Tom also manages to reach there. However, Grace uses a device to blow the entire gas pipeline. Declan and Clements get severely injured in the explosion. However, Declan escapes and becomes the only surviving recipient of the ransom allegedly paid by Britkus. Afterwards, Grace stabs Sophie in her legs and runs away, with Tom in pursuit. The media reports the Prime Minister's involvement with the Black Swan, and Grace's video spreads like wildfire. After hours of chasing, Grace and Tom find each other and start fighting fiercely. Tom, who is badly hurt, manages to overpower Grace. However, Grace attempts to seduce Tom and tells him that he's just like her. Tom doesn't fall for her trap and stabs her in the neck, causing her to die on the spot. Later, a red notice is issued against SAS Commander Declan. Moreover, the media reports that he is hiding somewhere with the ransom money. Clements remains the head of SAS, and Atwood also denies the allegations and refuses to resign. Meanwhile, Britkus also continues its business. In the end, Tom and Sophie get married to each other. Ultimately, Clements finds Declan and the money with the help of Tom. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.